Hey everyone, welcome to the second week of GameClub's Early Access program. I'm recording this video from my hotel in San Francisco. GameClub's here for the Game Developers Conference, and got a whole week ahead of us of meeting with game developers, checking out games, bringing other stuff into the GameClub library, and all sorts of other exciting things. So thanks a ton for all the feedback last week. If you had joined the Early Access program and got involved in testing HookChamp for us last week, thanks a ton for everyone that reached out. We got a lot of really good bug reports and other feedback and things like that. And especially thanks to people that reach out to us to give us ideas on what other kind of games that they want to see in GameClub. We had just a ton of people giving us all sorts of ideas for what we should be looking at next. If you have any ideas for that sort of thing, feel free to reach out to us at hello@gameclub.io. Or really any of our Game Club email addresses. I'm watching all of them, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so we got a ton of great feedback, a lot of good bug reports and all that stuff. We're trying to get as many people as possible testing these games. So if you know any friends or family or anything else that you think might be interested in these kind of like super duper classic iOS game premium experience kind of thing, please send them our way. They can either sign up at gameclub.io to get these emails and see these videos and things like that, or you can just feel free to forward them an email or send them in TestFlight Links or anything else you want to do. The more the merrier in this kind of situation. So this week's game is Sword of Fargoal, which is, as far as classic games are concerned, it's hard to find one that's more classic on the App Store because it predates the App Store by such a significant margin. Sword of Fargoal was first released in 1982 for the Commodore, believe it or not, which 1982, this actually even predates me, so we're talking a pretty old school game here. Believe it or not, when it was actually released on those huge old floppy disks and cassette tape. So just to give you an idea of just how old school this is when I say it's old school. What's interesting about Sword of Fargoal specifically is it was one of the first games that used randomized dungeons as a gameplay mechanic. Along with a bunch of other things that effectively become kind of tropes of the roguelike genre, which those things didn't really exist back in 1982. Sword of Fargoal was blazing a new territory, new trails basically in this sort of gameplay stuff. So it's really cool to look at it through that lens, and particularly when you consider how well it's held up over the years. So the idea of the game is you are an adventurer in this randomized dungeon and you're trying to find the Sword of Fargoal, which, if I recall correctly, spawns anywhere between the 15th and the 20th floor of the dungeon. And you'll kind of know when you get to the floor that has the sword on it, because all of a sudden it like turns into this really crazy maze that is just exceedingly difficult at normal difficulty levels. Once you get the sword, and battle your way through all sorts of enemies to make it down there, you'll need to actually do the opposite in reverse and make it up to where you started the game to get out with the sword, at which point you would win. I believe you have something like 30 minutes to get out once you get the sword. So completing a full game of Fargoal is not only challenging, but it also takes quite a while. Thankfully, the mobile port has something they call the Squire mode, which makes playing the game significantly difficult. So if you're getting frustrated because you're dying a lot or just not able to make progress in the game, definitely give that a look, because you'll probably have a lot more fun. It makes all the enemies easier and everything else. So another thing that's pretty fascinating about Sword of Fargoal is it was developed, the mobile port was developed with the help of Paul Pridham, who you also might know as Mad Garden on Twitter. He's done a bunch of other games that if you follow the kind of premium iOS game scene and indie game scene as well, you would know, such as like Punch Quest and Death Road to Canada and a bunch of other games like that. And what's cool about Sword of Fargoal is you can sort of see a lot of Paul's personal style come out in this game that then kind of like finds a home in his future game as that sort of evolves. A lot like how last week's HookChamp, you could see like a lot of the writing and style of that also take place in and grow in Rocket Cat's future games. So Sword of Fargoal is one of my favorite games on the App Store. I was super bummed when it didn't get updated, and I'm really happy that we've got it back for you guys. So as you're playing it, I hope you enjoy it, but we'd appreciate any feedback that you can send us. So if you want to send us an email with any feedback, it's feedback@gameclub.io. We've got a really great Discord that's surprisingly active that you can find at discord.gg/GameClub. You can follow us on Twitter or tweet at us we're just at GameClub on Twitter. Or if you want to reach out to me personally, I'm at Hodap, and that's spelled HODAPP, which is my last name. If you're more into Facebook or Instagram, we're Game Club Inc. over there. So facebook.com/GameClub Inc. or instagram.com/GameClub Inc. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see all these links in the description of the video. So a lot like last week, the way you play Sword of Fargoal is, or the way you get Sword of Fargoal on your phone is super easy. First, you have to have the TestFlight app installed, which you can get from the App Store. Just search for TestFlight, install it, and that's how you get access to all sorts of beta stuff. And that's what we're using here. So if you either look in the email I sent you or in the description of this video, you'll see the TestFlight links for both HookChamp from last week, as well as Sword of Fargoal for this week. So once you have TestFlight installed on your actual iOS device, just tap either of those links. The game will get added to your available apps to test inside of TestFlight. You just tap to download, and then they appear on your phone just like a normal app. Super simple. And again, if you have any issues with this process or anything else, feel free to reach out to us at any of the contact information that I've already mentioned. And again, just have fun, enjoy the game. Hope you like it. It's one of my favorites, so I think you will. And please spread the word of Game Club to friends, family, and other people you think will be interested. We're doing all this stuff for you guys, so I feel like the hardcore, super enthusiastic Game Club community that we built so far is only going to get cooler as it grows. So we'd really appreciate your help in doing that. So again, enjoy Sword of Fargoal. Thanks for watching this video. Check the video description or the email in your inbox for all these links that I talked about. And we'll catch you next week with another awesome Game Club game. So enjoy it.